a graduation speech. You probably expect me to quote a famous, influential figure. You expect me to talk about whom we were as students and who we might come to be. You expect to hear my predictions about the uncertainties that lie ahead. And of course, what kind of an ingrate would I be if I didn't bring our teachers and parents into this? So as not to upset you or cause you to feel as if you were cheated out of a typical graduation speech, I'm going to include all of those elements in this address. I'll also throw in some references to contemporary pop culture and some jokes that aren't funny because I'm a sucker for tradition. A quick Google search revealed that one of today's top graduation quotes was coined by Ed Koch, former New York City mayor and U.S. House representative. He states, "The fireworks begin today. Each diploma is a lighted match. Each one of you is a fuse. But relax, folks, it's just a metaphor." When we first came to West High School, we were nervous, awkward versions of who we currently are. We all struggle to find our own balance between schoolwork and our social lives, between clubs and sports, and perhaps even part-time jobs. As upperclassmen, we developed a better idea of who we will be in years to come, as we crammed for tests, bought thick SAT manuals, perused college campuses, and in some cases signed up to serve our country. In many cases, our concerns about the future were rather centered around post-secondary education and employment, instead of merely graduating from high school. But students, for those of you who consider a high school diploma to be an easy feat, realize that it is a huge milestone nonetheless. For our parents, certainly, the nest that you call home will soon be a bit roomier, and this is a big transition for mom and dad to face. And for the teachers who guided us through this adventure we call public schooling, it must be bittersweet to see another batch of young adults turned loose on the world. And I sounding cliched, yet it gets worse. For many of us, this fall will mark the beginning of self-autonomy. It is my suggestion that as we venture out and strive to discover a niche to fill, we aim to stand out rather than to blend in. Everyone should work to excel at something. You might be an outstanding academic within your major or an integral part of your team. Perhaps you're the artsy one, or maybe you're just a better-than-average friend. For your own safety and dignity, I hope that you won't earn your fame by excelling at grad party challenges. Another word on this newfound autonomy. While it may be safe to say that most of us are excited to get out of the house and experience a more independent lifestyle, it would be a disservice to forget our parents. They brought us up one way or another, and we owe them many thanks for supporting us these past 18 years. I will be sure to remind myself of this each time I realize that my mother is stalking me on Facebook, and I will struggle to grin rather than grimace. Listen up, it's time for a bonus speech element. Although I'm sure you could have predicted this one as well, I didn't mention it in my introduction. I'm going to pay homage to our hometown. Because someday you'll be at a typical college party with loud, blaring music, and someone will ask you, "Where are you from?" You'll reply, "Corning, you?" And they'll say, "Where?" "I'm from New York City." So you'll clarify, "I'm from Corning." And they'll say, "You mean like the vegetable?" So you'll say, "No." "Well, yeah, I guess." But then you'll try to save face by adding, "We have a glass museum." To which they'll respond, "Cool." Even so, when you return to town on holidays and summer vacation, it will feel nice to be back home. You'll exclaim, "OMG, peaches and cream. I remember the Palace Theater." And then before long, you'll be rounding up a gaggle of your high school friends to go and visit the Glass Museum just for the sake of old times. Before I wrap up this priceless monologue, I want to remind you all to take full advantage of the opportunities you're provided with. When you are faced with a challenge, think back about your quirky high school salutatorian who didn't miss the opportunity to be a little sarcastic while addressing your graduating class. She proved her relevance by mentioning Facebook, so her word must be good. Then again, it's a gamble to trust someone who has begun to talk about herself in the third person. Thank you, everyone. Woo!